Hey everybody, this is Deshay Peacock with Sweet Spot Style, and I am doing a little presentation today called Lessons from Italy because I recently went on a fantastic 3-day intensive with lifestyle branding social media guru Justina Blakeney and with the Italian Fix. And it was really fantastic, and I just wanted to share with you guys a few things that I learned, and so I hope that you can hang in there with me through this presentation. And I'll send you an email with a link if you have questions that I did not answer and that you want to talk about. You want to talk about your branding, or you want to talk about specific things on Instagram for your business, or whatever you want to talk about. You can book a 20-minute free session with me, and we will we'll cover that if we can. Okay, so now I'm just going to quickly go over here to screen share and hope this works, and pull up my presentation. Let's see here. Get out of that. All right. Okay, so you're at Lessons from Italy, and we're going to be talking about a little bit about social media, branding, but a lot more. Okay, so I think most of you know who I am, but if you don't, my name is Deshay. You say it like this, Deshay. I am an author. I write home decor books. The first one was called Create the Style You Crave. Sold out when it came out in about 20 days, and I'm working on my second book, which is on how to create a creative workspace that can energize you and help you get closer to your dreams through your workspace. I'm also a business and lifestyle design coach, and I lead a retreat to San Miguel de Allende, Mexico every February. And I have 2 spots available if anybody's interested. We'll talk about that at the end. So what is the Sweet Spot? My brand is called the Sweet Spot Style, and it's about consciously creating a life, a business, or a home that reflects your essence, your values, your dreams, and who you aspire to be. So that's my umbrella brand, and everything I talk about has to do with that. But today we're going to focus on what I learned with Justina Blakeney and Bianca. Oh, I do not know how to say your last name, Bianca. Janac, maybe, in Italy. So there you see a picture of this. I've taken this picture from the Italian Fix website. If anybody's interested in traveling in Italy, you should definitely check out Bianca's website. She has some really cool travel tours, and she also has some specific ones for creative business owners, like the one that I just went on. So just a tiny bit about Justina and Bianca if you don't know who they are. Justina has a personal brand that she's created from scratch, and she has an outreach of over 1.5 million people through her personal brand. That includes her blog, her Instagram account, her Pinterest account, and across social medias, right? That is more than Vogue magazine. I think Vogue magazine has an outreach of about 1.2 million. Justina's is 1.5. So that kind of gives you a scale or scope of how big her scale is that she's on. She is reaching a lot of folks. And this is just one, a personal brand. She's also got 4 licensed collections and counting. So that means that she's producing more. She has a line of cards. She has a line of wallpaper now. She's working on a furniture line. So she's got lots of cool stuff going. She is a stylist as well. And she has a best-selling she has a New York Times best-selling home decor book, which I have. It's called The New Bohemians. If you don't have it, check that out. Now, Bianca runs the Italian Fix. She's the one who organized this, and I wanted to talk about her too because she's a multiple 6-figure business, and she is sharing what she loves. She loves Italy, and so her sweet spot is about traveling in Italy and sharing what she loves about Italy. So I just feel like that could be a dream career. That's her dream career for sure, and she's doing it, and she's making great money at it, and she started about, I think think she started about 5 years ago. And she's also creating the first digital Italy guidebook, which is a membership, which is pretty cool. And she has a big vision for that as well. So both of those women are very inspiring. And there were about probably 35 other women that were there as well in this workshop. And it was really cool to meet them and learn from them. So today, what I'm going to attempt to do is try to pack in sort of my biggest takeaways from that 3-day adventure, and hopefully you can get something out of it. So what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about the top 2 things that successful women have that we need, or I should say, I know that I need, and probably you need as well. A little bit of branding and Instagram tips. I'm gonna do another webinar on that, because I mean that was like, you know, the bulk of what we talked about. So I'm gonna try to give you some takeaways, but we'll do a whole other webinar just really focusing on that as well soon, probably in the next 2 weeks. The biggest lesson I came home with, and a special announcement. So stick around to the end. I'm also going to answer your questions. Some of you have sent me questions on email and also in the chat, and I will answer those as well at the end. Okay, so you'll see Bianca has the kind of beautiful strawberry blonde hair, and Justina has the beautiful curly hair. And 2 things these successful women have that we need. One, they have each other. This is like a love affair, right? They look like they're in love in that picture. I'll go back. Let's see if I can go back to it. It just looks like they're, you know, like, you know, on their honeymoon or something here. But they have each other, and they have big visions, goals, focus. Justina would call it your northern star, you know, like the direction you're headed in, your big dreams, your big ambitions. So let's talk about the first one for a second. They have each other. That's such a big deal. You know, I think that if I had to go ahead and spill the beans and tell you that the number one thing that I learned while I was there is that I really need to position myself around people who I aspire to be like. And I did that for sure. And, you know, that's a powerful thing. You know, we need mentors in our life. We need to look at somebody who's doing what we want to do and see how they did it, so that we can be reminded that we can do it too. And it's mindset. You know, I mean, I can teach you techniques of technology all day long, but if you don't have the mindset, you're not going to be able to do it. So 1, you have to believe you can do it. 2, you need to be around people, not just following them online, but like meeting them, like taking their workshops, getting close to them, becoming friends with them, surrounding yourself with aspiring, inspirational people that you can absorb their energy from and see it. And then you can know that you can do it too. Okay, and they have big vision. So this is not small potatoes here. When you have a following bigger than Vogue magazine, that's because you've had a vision, and chances are you're going to continue to have a vision. So, you know, as soon as Justina hit, you know, the 1 million mark, it doesn't mean I'm done. She's into personal growth just like we all are. So she's got bigger goals, private goals that I won't share with you today, but I was able to, you know, absorb and just see like, wow, this woman thinks so big, and I really appreciate that. And not only that, but she has a family, and both of them do. And that's important because we want to grow our empires, but we also want to be balanced as much as we can, and, you know, maintain a healthy and beautiful life with our family. So let's talk about some of the top tips. We talked on the first day of the workshop about goals. So 1 is about setting your goal, or I might call it, you know, in my work, I call it an intention, right? So it's like clarity. Clarity is king. You have to have clarity. If you don't have clarity, you need to just stop right there. You know, you need to know what you want and where you want to go. That's so important. I've talked about it a lot, but again, it came up again in this workshop, and it's what she focused on, and I know it's important. So you've got to set your goals, and she talked about setting the right goals. You know, setting the goals that are going to light you up, going for your deepest passion, not just the side passion. You know, if you're multi-passionate like I am, you have a lot of stuff going on. I struggle with it all the time. I was struggling with it yesterday. You know, I need to write my book. I want to do an Instagram course. I want, you know, leading this retreat, I have so many ideas and things, but it's like, what is your deepest passion? And focusing on that deepest passion And that is your Northern Star. And then making small goals to get to your bigger goals. So, and then you got to stick to your goals. You can't change them around all the time. You change them around all the time, you're never going to get anywhere. Now, I see this with myself. I see this with my clients. The people who are successful, they make a goal, they're sure of the goal, it's the right goal, and they stick with it. We've got to stick with it. The other thing is we need to map it out. We need to visually see this. You know, we need to have the big goal, and then we need to break it up into the smaller goals and follow that process. There's no way you can't be successful if you do this, guys. You will be successful if you do this, but you have to do it. And track your progress. Track it. Justina talked about this a lot. I thought I was the only crazy one. Look at my phone all the time. I look and see, you know, how many followers I have on Instagram, what's going on Facebook. I look at my email list. I have little goals, and I'm trying to accomplish those. And if I'm not accomplishing those, then I know I need to do something to get those numbers up. And she does the same thing, and she has 1 million Pinterest followers. She has, you know, with her 2 accounts, Justina Blakely and Jungalo on Instagram, over 400,000 followers. And you might think, oh, somebody with 400,000 followers isn't checking to see if they have more followers every day. Well, she is. She is checking her progress. She is tracking to see how she grows. She has daily goals for every social media outlet and for, you know, her outreach, okay, because that is how she's growing her empire through social media. So whether that's your thing or not, you're tracking your progress. If your goal is to get a new client, then you have a sales funnel and you have daily goals. You need to make sure you're meeting those daily goals. If you want 1 client and you know that you need to talk to 30 people to get 1 client, that's actually a lot. You really should be talking to maybe 5 people to get 1 client. Then, you know, you need to chart that out. Like, okay, how many people did I talk to today? Did I talk to 5 people today? If not, then you need to, you know, get somebody on the books for tomorrow and make sure that you're hitting your goals and you're tracking that. That is so important. It's also about focus, and what you're focusing on brings, you know, what you're focusing on is going to bring more of that into your life. So if you're focusing on your progress, then you're going to have more progress. If you're focusing on your numbers growing, that's going to grow. Now, on the other hand, if you're looking at your account or your client list and you're like, I don't have anything, I done nothing, this sucks, then you're going to get more of that. So be careful when you're tracking that you're focusing on your progress. If you're not there, then what do you need to do to move forward? It's not about bashing yourself or complaining or whining or moaning. It's about, okay, this is just a simple, almost mathematics. It's like, I have to do this to get to this point, to get to this point. So that's about being a lady boss. It's about sticking with it and doing what you need to do to get there. Good company. I mean, I already mentioned the fact that I think that the biggest thing that I got out of this whole thing was being around, surrounded by these women who are doing what I want to do, and the mojo that comes with that. Not only that, but when you start to become friends and build relationships with these people, you will reap the benefits of that. Okay? So Instagram tips, we're kind of switching over here to Instagram a little bit. So I've already done a whole webinar on Instagram and given a whole hour's worth of tips on Instagram. That's on the blog. That was just, I don't know, maybe that was before Italy, maybe a month and a half ago. And since then, I've almost, I don't know, I think I had 3,000 followers. I think I've tripled my growth. I'm already at 6,000. So I want to do another webinar to just continue to teach what I've learned about that. But basically what I got from Justina's workshop was, you know, surprisingly not that much different from what I already know. And I just want to stop here and say, you probably know it too. Okay, it's not like I haven't watched a bunch of webinars and taken classes on Instagram and branding, right? But the question is, why am I not, or why are you not growing having this knowledge already? If you have this knowledge already, what are you not doing? It's not about knowing more, it's really about doing more. So what is it that you need to do more, right? Or hand it off, either way. So, you know, you may already know this stuff, but I'm going to kind of go over it again and sort of emphasize, you know, what I took away from, she did a whole day on Instagram. So the first thing that I really loved was that she talked about moving fast. So she gave us a whole bunch of activities. She was like, okay, I want you to go out and shoot the rainbow. So take your phone and go out and shoot every color of the rainbow, what you see, then come back to the workshop, edit those, and write your little blurb on it, write your content, and use 3 different filters. And she told us that was like 7 pictures, right? I don't know how many colors in the rainbow, but about 7. Normally it would take me like an hour just to do one. Oh, I have to go out and find a perfect picture. I've got to find the right filter. Now I've got to write the copy, sit and think about it. So this was like, write 7 of these, use 3 different filters on, a handful of them, and then write the blurb for 3 of them. So everybody was like, what? I can't do that. That's too much. And she was like, look, if you want to make it in the online world, you can't be a perfectionist. You have to hurry up and move fast. She posts like 8 to 10 times a day on Instagram. Now she has other people working for her. She has 2 full-time employees, plus some people on the side, freelancers and stuff. But that is a lot. So it's kind of a balance, okay? I don't want to say, because the next thing is make it pretty. So it's like, oh, well, how do I make it pretty and move fast? That's what you have to get good at, okay? I'm talking about whether that's your newsletter and your blog, whether that's your Facebook post or Instagram, whatever it is. And when I say make it pretty, maybe your brand isn't about being pretty. Maybe it's about something else, but make it on target branded. So for me, my stuff needs to be pretty, so it needs to be pretty. But even if it's not, like your brand is not focused on pretty, still make it visually appealing. I see a lot of ugly stuff on Instagram. Instagram is not about ugly stuff. Neither is Pinterest. So if those are your platforms, please take the time to make it pretty, but still move fast. And I know that's kind of tricky to do, but as you keep doing it and you practice, you'll get better at it. Okay, so it's all about branding and relationships. Oh, this is a big one. So she talked about, how in the beginning, Justina was, she actually was living in Italy. She studied in Italy. She lived in Florence for a few years, and she started making T-shirts, and she started making clothes with her sister, and they started this business, right? And then from there, they wrote this book. I think it was called 99 Ways to Make a T-shirt. And she talked about how she went to some kind of like a show, like a gift show or something like that. And in that show, they thought, they spent all this time on their booth and making these clothes, but what sold was the books. And so that was just like synchronicity, right? It's like paying attention to synchronicity. So that book did really well, and then she continued to write books, and then her brand sort of shifted from there. Okay, so what she really wanted to do was write a home decor book, and after I think she had sold maybe 3 or 4 different 99 t-shirt books, like series of those books, and she said she wanted to do a home decor book, and the publisher was like, well, you've done good, but if you want to do home decor, you need to have a bigger platform. So she started working on her platform, and that's when she developed the Jungalow. And she branded her website, and she had a very small blog, and she just started building relationships with other people who were doing this stuff, right? She became friends with them. They started shouting her out. She started to grow. And that's really what she talked about. That's the main reason she went from being a small blog to a big blog. She set herself apart by calling herself the Jungalow and creating a style that's specifically hers. If you're on any of these social media platforms and you're scrolling through, you can tell a Justina picture because it's a very bohemian. There's a lot of color going on. She uses specific filters, and you can see it. You'll know that that's her picture. She's created this big personal brand, and people know who that is. So that's one thing. And the second thing is that early on, she started building relationships with people who were helping her out. And that's what we all have to do. We have to build relationships with people who can help us out. And in turn, we need to help other people out. So this is not all about taking. This is also about giving. All right, I want to go back because there's something else about branding and relationships that I wanted to talk about. Oh, somebody here, let me go back to the chat. Somebody had asked, is there one big thing that that Justina did to sort of get her going? And she didn't talk about this too much in the workshop, but she did talk about it, I think, in a blog once upon a time. And she talked about how she got early on, she got into Pinterest before Pinterest was a huge thing. And she was like an early adapter, right? She started to use Pinterest, and she was writing articles for Pinterest. So she was one of the first people on, focusing on home decor, which is, Pinterest is, home decor is huge on Pinterest. And because she did that, she got a huge following fast. So that's how she got up to 1 million on Pinterest. And after that, she was able to carry a lot of those people over to Instagram. Not like Instagram. It was still a lot of work to build that up, but she already had an audience of 1 million people on Pinterest. Okay, so she's already a huge influencer. When you get to 100,000 on any social media outlet, you're called an influencer, right? You're influencing the decisions of other people. So she was already an influencer with Pinterest. So if you can think about how you can relate this to your own experience, you might be saying, well, okay, well now I can't get 1 million I can't get 1 million followers on Instagram, Facebook, or Pinterest, or my blog because those are already saturated. Well, they're not saturated. There's still plenty of room to grow on all of those. But you're right, you're probably not going to shoot up to 1 million like she did. So if that's your goal, then you need to think about what other outlets you can get on that are new, so you're seeing Periscope out there, you're seeing Snapchat, and there's a whole bunch of them that I don't even know about. Those are the two that I see pop up quite a bit that I'm not even on myself, right? But if that's your goal, I think that's a smart thing to do. Start exploring these new social media platforms and figure out if you can hop on and become an expert in your field before everybody else does and get big before everybody else does. Now, that's always a risk because you don't know. That's the thing. You don't know which one's going to be big, but she didn't either, and it worked. It just happened to work out. So that's one of those kind of gambling things that you have to decide if it's worth your time and energy to devote to some new social media platform that could or could maybe take off and maybe not. All right, so back to branding. Now, branding and Instagram and social media, these are all very much related. So here's some advice from her. She talked about making your brand recognizable. And I just gave you an example of how she does that through her own personal style. So if you go on her website, Jungle O, or if you're following her on Instagram, you'll see that she's showing bohemian, colorful stuff. Now, she doesn't have modern stuff on there. She doesn't have all white backgrounds on there. It's a particular style. So it's hard to think of some new style, right? But that's what you need to do. You need to think about how you can do that through your colors, through your filters, through the mood, through your content, and how to really personalize it. So make it consistent. That is my #1 point for you on your brand. Make your brand consistent. Make it recognizable. This is not easy. This is not like you're going to hear this and run off and know how to do it. This takes a lot of thought and effort. Look around at what other people are doing a little bit, but then don't copy other people. This is something you have to figure out on your own, or get somebody to help you figure it out. I mean, I definitely needed somebody to help me figure out. Now, on the last webinar that I did around Instagram, we talked about branding, and I told you that I had spent some time with Monica Lee, who is also a fabulous lifestyle brander, and she talked about coming up with 3 words that reflect your brand. So Justina had the same activity, what are the words that boil down reflect your brand? And one of her words was patternful. I think the other one is colorful, and junglicious. So, patternful and junglicious, she just made up to fit her brand. But we all know what that means. And people are starting to even use that language when they talk about her. So she's not only creating a brand, she's creating a brand language. And you can do the same. So, when I met with Monica Lee, I guess it was in the spring, we spent quite a bit of time looking at my Instagram and trying to figure out, what it was about. And we came up with these 3 words: boho, vintage, and feminine. Then I went up and talked to Justina during the workshop, and I showed her my Instagram account. She knew who I was. And I was like, what do you feel like are my 3 words? And we spent quite a bit of time talking about it, and we came up with meaningful, eclectic, and sweet spot, right? So sweet spot for me is doing creative work that you love, but sweet spot is self-defined for my clients and my followers. So it's like, what is it that's going to light you up? I'm not the dictator. I'm not the style dictator. I'm not the judge of your life. I'm just here to help facilitate this situation and help you get to where you need to be. So that's an essence of what my whole brand is about. So that's one of my words. So, it wasn't even that long ago that I talked with Monica and I had boho, vintage, and feminine. Sure, my brand is that, but what I'm showing you here is this is an evolutionary process that you might come up with 3 words now and those feel pretty good, but as you grow, as you expand, as you get more deeply into expressing what you're trying to do with your work, it may evolve. So don't feel like it has to be the perfect 3 words right now. This is just a tool to help you move forward through language. Taking something very abstract and putting into language can help you move forward faster with your images and with, creating this brand. All right, so if you've heard this before, and you probably have, you've probably even heard it from me, but you still feel stuck, then you might want to get some personalized help. And as I mentioned, I study this stuff. I love this stuff. And still, I wasn't afraid to go up and talk to Justina. She's an expert, and get some help myself. And it really did help me. I mean, you can see back here, this was just a few months ago that I took this screenshot, and I had 3,200 followers, and I'm at 6,500 already. I've grown over 1,000. I think I've grown at least 500 just in the past 2 weeks. So I've been back from Italy a month. I've gotten a whole new 1,000 followers. Like every month I'm getting a new 1,000 followers. And I know that the advice that Justina gave me is gonna help me even more. So, this is a big deal. I feel like I learned a lot, and I feel like I'm so grateful that I decided to go. But, the fact is that I almost didn't go. I almost didn't go. The first time I actually saw a picture of Italy on Italian Fix. Now, I saw it on Justina's Instagram, and I was like, what is this? And I looked it up, and I saw she was leading this tour, workshop in Italy the first time. And I thought, no, I can't do that. I can't afford that. I'm going to Mexico for a month already. Nope, not the time. And to be honest, it probably wasn't the time because, I had a lot, financially, it probably wasn't exactly the time for me to do it. So I held off. But then I saw it again. The second time. This was, I guess, probably back in November. And the same thought occurred to me. I saw it and I was like, oh, she's doing this again. I really want to go. I know this will be helpful for me. There's no question that it'll be helpful and amazing and fun and beautiful. But I had this thought of like, oh, I can't do it. I was in a better financial situation at the time, but still, I wasn't sure how I was going to come up. It probably cost me about $3,500 to do the whole thing. Once you buy your ticket there and you pay for the workshop and you pay for a place to stay and all that. The way I did it, I could have shared a room and I could have made it less, but that's the way I wanted to do it, right? So what I had to do was I had to take a little bit of a leap of faith. And I had to just know that I was going to move forward with that and say yes. And then I was going to have to figure it out, which is pretty much what I always do in my business, and it works for me. Now, I have to say it with a word of caution because you have to know what your risk level is with all things, right? And my risk level is probably pretty good because I've done it so many times and it's always worked out. So you have to look at your past and see if it's worked out for you, then then you have a pretty good idea it's going to continue to work out for you. If it hasn't, then that means maybe you're not making the right decision. So, this is a very individualized thing. But for me, I knew, like, I didn't know how exactly I was going to make that work, but I knew that it was going to be good for me. I knew that I had said no the first time, and I felt sad about that. So this time I talked to my coach about it, and she was like, you have to go. And I was like, you're right, I have to go. So I made the commitment. I said yes, and I'm so glad I did. So what's the point? Why am I telling you this? Because there may be things that you've been looking at for a little while now, and you think, I know this is going to help me. I know this is going to be good for me. I'm just scared. I'm scared because of the money. I'm scared because maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe whatever your reasons. I'm scared because I'm an introvert. There were plenty of introverts there. Come to find out, they were like, I was nervous that I wasn't gonna like gel with people or whatever. They did. Everybody did. Everybody bonded. Everybody had a great time. So think about what these reasons are, what's stopping you from moving forward. Not just with like maybe going on a big trip, but in everyday life. Like, what is stopping you? You're here for a reason. You're on this webinar because you want to move forward. You want to grow. You probably already know the facts. You know the strategy. You just need to do it. So what's stopping you? Do you need support? Do you need to be around women who are doing it? Do you need to make a schedule? Do you need to carve out time? Do you need a babysitter? What is it? What is it that you need to do? If you can figure that out, I want you to write it down and send it to me in a note. I want to know what it is. What's stopping you? What was stopping me was just the money fear. But guess what? I said yes. 2016 rolled around. I've had my best year ever. I made, like $10,000 on my first webinar on day one, January 1st. Right after that, I just kept getting client after client. In May, the month that I went to Italy, was the best month of my entire business. I made as much money in May while I was still, I took 9 days in Italy. I made half of the salary that I made in my academic job. And I did that, honestly, it was the first 13 days of May. I didn't even do a launch. So I paid for Italy, no problem. Done. Just completely no problem. So now I look back at it, I'm like, to think that almost stopped me. And now it's just not a problem at all. And I think that sometimes for me, when I make those decisions to move forward, it almost helps to creates abundance to take care of the things, my desires. It creates the abundance to take care of my desires. I don't know how it works. It's a miracle, but it does. Okay, so I'm going to transition to tell you a couple of things that's going on with my business. A lot of great connections happened in Italy, and one of them is that I met Carolyn White, who is known as the B School photographer, because she's the personal photographer of Marie Forleo. Marie Forleo is the person who is the founder and creator of B School. There's a lot of you guys in B School, or you've taken B School, or you've at least heard of it. It's an online, business marketing program for women. Well, I don't think it's for women, but it's for anybody who wants to have an online business. I took B School. It helped my business. Carolyn White has taken all the pictures that you see of Marie Forleo on her website and in B School. So, and I met her and we became friends. And the first thing we talked about was like that I'm going to, I facilitate this, not the first thing, but one of the things we talked about was that, I have this retreat in Mexico. And she did not even hesitate. She was like, I'm coming, sign me up. So she is coming in February. And she's got some special packages just for us. Now, this girl is not cheap. She is a lady boss who charges her value. Her packages are the same, like her day-long packages are the same as my whole 7-day retreat. But she's come up with some special packages for us. And that picture you see there of me on the beach in Italy, she took that. That's not even touched. That's not even edited at all. That's just the raw footage. And I hired her on the spot. When I started to see the images that she was creating for Bianca and for other people, I was like, you're worth it. So let's do it. And I hired her on the spot. If you are interested in going pro, if you're interested in having some beautiful shots for your website, come with us to Mexico. There's going to be a plethora of beautiful backgrounds. We're going to both help you with your branding. We'll even help you with your hair and makeup. And we'll figure out some images and some shots that are going to up-level you and your business and your website. And you will come away with a set of gorgeous images, branded images that are going to up-level you and your online presence. So if you're interested, we only have 2 more spots. It's the same retreat that I'm doing. It's on my website. Go to sweetspotstyle.com. You'll see the website. It doesn't talk about Carolyn because I just met her and she said she's coming. So she's going to be there anyway. She's going to do these pictures for you as an add-on if you're interested. 2 more spots. After that, I haven't even really announced this to anybody. So I'm announcing it to you guys. Then I'm going to start pushing it on social media. Then it's probably going to fill really fast. So if you want those 2 slots, let me know. If you're not 100% sure about that, probably what's going to happen are those 2 slots are going to fill fast and we might open up a second week. So think about it, but let me know soon. All right. The other thing is that I'm kind of an Instagram junkie. I don't know if somebody listened to this webinar, how many times I've said the word Instagram. It's probably been a lot. I love it. I love growing. I love tracking my numbers, and I've started helping other people. So my first client that's strictly Instagram is Cara Page, and I'm going to talk about her in just a second. But I love helping people grow on Instagram. I think it's becoming a thing. So I haven't really announced this to anybody but a couple people, but I'm kind of starting to think about taking on some new Instagram clients. So I'm gonna talk about this. You're the first to know. I'm probably only going to take 3 clients for now and see how this goes and see if the level of like how much I can take on here. But this is what it is. It's called I think my umbrella brand for this, not my umbrella brand, but my brand is going to be Grow Your Brand on Instagram. And then a part of that is going to be Grow It For Me. So like I can teach you everything about how to grow on Instagram, and I do teach that, but some people just don't have the time. It takes time. I'm not going to lie. This is no joke. Like you have to spend quite a bit of time on there, and there's some strategy behind it. So if you're like, I get it, I understand it's important, but I don't have time to do this, you can just hire me and I'll figure it out for you and I'll help you grow super fast. So this is the Grow It For Me. This is the only product that I have around Instagram at the time right now. But basically what you would get is you would get a 60-minute branding session, hashtag research. Hashtags are what's really helped me grow fast. Daily tracking like I do for my own. And I'll help you find the hashtags that are going to help you connect with your ideal customer. This is definitely not a super grow fast, like I want to say get rich scheme. It's kind of like that. It's not like that. It's not like get fast, grow fast for no reason deal. This is grow fast and build your ideal clients. Your ideal clients are the people who need to be following you, not some random Joe, but your ideal customers who are going to want to hire you. That's what we're focusing on here. So I told you that Cara Page hired me. She's a friend who we met at a conference. We met at Alt. Then we went to Monarch together. And I'm saying that because I'm going back to the point of relationship building. You know, a lot of my clients are my friends. They're people I've gone to grad school with. They're people that I hang out with all the time. They're my buds, you know, they're my girls. They're my biz gal pals. And Cara is one of them. And she is like, she saw me grow. She saw me have like 1,000 people on Instagram at Alt. Then she saw me have like, you know, 2,000 or 3,000 the next time I saw her, and she's like, you're growing fast and I don't have time to do this. Can you help me? So this is Cara's before. When we started a month ago, she had 400. I think she had 406 actually. This was her brand. She's really good at branding, but this particular branding thing she had going on right here was not fully expressing who she was and what she wanted to do. And there was a little bit of inconsistency with different fonts here and a lot of words. and different filters. Now that's because Cara is freaking working and making a lot of money, and she doesn't have a whole bunch of time to go and tweak and do all this stuff on Instagram. That's why she hired me. So here's after. So what we did was we still kept some of the gold, and we still kept some of the pinks and greens and blacks and whites. So we're making a cohesive brand, but there's less gold and there's less text, because she didn't need all that text, because what she does is she is an experiential marketing and event designer. She produces beautiful events. So producing beautiful events, she needs to show beautiful events. She needs to show how she puts together mood boards and packages different cool creative conferences and stuff like that. So here's her new look. This is from today. She's grown. She went from 400 to 1,000 in a month. She really liked that, and she's like, okay, I want you to take me from 1 to 2K now. So that's 1,000, and I'm pretty sure I can get her there in a month, if not 2, but she'll be at 2K very soon. So that's our goal, and that's the case study. So, you know, I know that it's working for me, and now I know it's working for Cara. It's also working for some of my other clients. I have 6-month clients that are not hiring me just for Instagram, but for, you know, holistic life and business coaching, and they're on Instagram and they're growing as well. They're not growing quite as fast as this, okay? But they're still growing. So, you know, it's like take the techniques, learn and grow on your own, or hire someone, hire me, whoever you really relate to grow. If you do decide to hire someone else, just make sure that you understand their strategy for your branding, and that you're connecting with your ideal customer and not just getting fake followers. You can go out and buy fake followers. Don't do that. You do not want to do that. You know, the reason why this is really good is even in this first month, you know, Cara sent me a text and she said, you know, that somebody that she had followed, that I had followed for her, contacted her and said, I really love your style. I love what you're doing. I want to talk to you about hiring you to do an event in Chicago. So she's already got a hot lead from this in just 1 month. You know, she's probably going to make up for this, the cost of, you know, of building this account very quickly with just one client. Okay, so here's the prices for the Grow It For Me. So for you guys, these prices may change eventually, but right now for 500 followers, $500, 750 followers, the price is less, and it would be 1,000. If you want to go higher than that, then the price goes down, okay? That's the package. Now, if you're curious about this, or if you even just want me to look at your Instagram and do a little assessment and see how I can help you, then let's talk. You know, I can help you figure out how you can do this for yourself, or if you don't have time or energy, then maybe I can do it for you. Either way, I can help you. So get on the schedule. I'm gonna the last email that I sent you, there's a link. Hop on my calendar. I'll send you guys another email with the same link. And now let's take some questions. So I have some questions here. I have one from Sue Henry, a client. Love you, girl. And she says, what is the best way to drive traffic from Instagram to your website where people actually shop, besides just growing your numbers? Well, of course, we know growing your numbers is a good one, but you already know that, Sue. So here's 4 tips to help you make money from Instagram. 1, you put your shop link, your URL, in your profile, which you've already done, so you can check that off. The other thing, though, is you can do an opt-in in your profile. So we talked about this, Sue. You can create a freebie. You can create something like that your ideal customer is going to want, they're willing to give you their email for. You put your opt-in in your profile, they click on it, it takes them to, you know, a place where they put in their email, you collect their email, you give them a free gift, and then you have them in your email list. Then you can contact them whenever you want. That's powerful. That's what, you know, the big league does. They gather emails and then they sell through their emails. So once you have their email, you can sell them in any kind of way you want. You can do sales, you can do promos, you can do giveaways, whatever. Get them on your email. You can have a sale. You can have a promotion. You can say, hey, you know, today I'm doing 15% off. Whatever you're doing, make sure it makes sense within. You only have one link in your profile on Instagram. So, you know, if you're having a sale, then obviously you want that to go to your sales page. And then get in front of other people's audiences. This is how you sell, girl. You do giveaways with people who are bigger than you. You do takeovers where you take over their account or let someone take over your account who has a bigger account, so that you're growing and you're sharing with each other. And you do shout outs. So it's like, I shout out my clients, I've shouted out you. You can shout out other people. You can do an exchange. So what do I mean by that? It's like, you know, you find somebody you like. I'm thinking about Stella Blue Gallery. She just entered my contest today that I'm having over on Instagram. I think she has 17,000 followers or something. You know, contact somebody like that and say, hey, you know, could you do a shout out for me and post my picture and tell people to go over and like my page and buy my stuff, and I'll do the same for you. So that kind of thing. Now, most of the time with shout outs, you want to try to find somebody who's got around the same number as you. And so, you know, but it doesn't hurt to ask. It never hurts to ask. So, you know, you might ask Andrea, the girl that I'm doing a contest with right now. You guys have about the same amount of followers. So why not? That would help each other. So you'd help each other out and you have similar brands. So think about it as, you know, collaboration over competition. This isn't competition. We have to help each other out. That's why we're building these relationships. Okay. LeKay asks, congrats on growing your Instagram and cars too. Does all this really translate into clients? And yes, it does translate into clients. I've already mentioned that, but I'll talk about it again. In May, I sold 2 $5,000 packages. I've never done that before. And both of them came from Instagram. So that was pretty awesome. Well, at least one of them came from, actually, in a roundabout way. One of them came directly from Instagram. The other one was a client who had found me on Instagram. So yeah, Instagram. I had the biggest month ever in May, and a lot of that came from Instagram growth. And then I already told you about Kara's case study, you know, that she has a new hot lead just from, you know, us working together for 1 month on Instagram, came directly. And there's tons and tons and tons of other people who are doing, thousands and I don't know, hundreds of thousands of people who are making money through Instagram. So yes, it can work, but yes, it can also be a huge time suck if you don't know what you're doing. I spent 3 years, the first 3 years on Instagram. I didn't even have 1,000 followers, and I didn't sell a single anything, nothing. I made no money. It's because I didn't have a strategy. I didn't really know what I was doing. I thought I could just post pretty pictures and people would love it and want to hire me. No, that did not happen. So you do have to be strategic about it. You do have to put time and effort into it. But if you do, then for sure, it does translate into clients. Okay, I think that's it. Now let me go over here to the other questions. And meanwhile, I'm going to put this, I will take this off screen share and go back to me. There we go. Hello. Do you like that fake smile? I have a couple more questions here. Let's see what they are.
Are you almost done?
Nope, this is Isla. You guys can say hi to my daughter. There she is. She just got out of school. Today is the last day of school. So I'm almost done.
How much more minutes?
Like 5 minutes. Okay, so Ariel, I want more clients. Now, Ariel, you are not on Instagram, but you want more clients. I totally get it. I think for you and for anybody else who's not on Instagram and wants more clients, branding is still really important. What is your message? Who are you trying to attract? And what are you trying to give them? And how can you reach them? So in the very beginning of my business, I have an online presence, right? But I was also contacting people and just saying, hey, you know, can I help you? Here's what I do. Can I help you? And just offer help, offering help, offering free advice. And then those people are like, that was helpful. Thank you. That was helpful. I need more of that. That was helpful. I need you. I need you. I want to hire you. And that's how it was in the beginning. I still do some clarity calls and stuff like that, but now my online presence and the word of mouth has grown so that now people are coming to me, which thank you so much is amazing. I'm so blessed and happy about that. But there is nothing wrong with contacting people individually and being visible, both through word of mouth, through contacting individuals, and through online, and just saying, this is what I do, and make it clear and easy for them to understand how you can benefit them, and give them a little taste of it, and then follow up with them. So, you know, Errol, you're on LinkedIn. That's a good place for you to be. So I think what you're doing with direct messaging is awesome. Following up, going to live events, and telling people to spread the word for you. I think that's a great way to get new clients the fastest for you right now. What else do we have? Lisa, did Justina have one event or action or a series of event of actions that she thinks really put her on the path to big success? Is there anything she does religiously that keeps her on an upward path? Well, I think I answered that, but let me reiterate. So I think that you could call it luck, that when she got on Pinterest and then she hit 1 million because she was new in that social media platform, that was a huge thing for her. But previous to that, she was just working like we all are. You know, it wasn't some magic thing that she did. It wasn't like some, you know, staring the crystal lake magical thing. It was just she was hammering away, working hard. She admits she admits she likes to work a lot. You know, she probably works 70 hours a week now, and she has a little kid. Her husband stays home and helps with that. So she's just pounding away at it, you know, and eventually, if you pound away with it, some miracle will happen, some cool big thing will happen, or it will just continue to grow until it feels big, you know. So I think that was what happened. And then I think that, you know, she works hard and that she tracks it, and she talked a lot about tracking that. So having this map, having your goal, and just working towards it. I wish I could say, yeah, here's this one thing that she did. We can all just do it. I mean, I've been looking for somebody to tell me that forever. And the truth is that it's kind of just consistent hard work and dedication that really does it. I wish it were easier. I wish there was some simple magical tool, but that's pretty much what it is. Let's see if we have any more questions here. I think that's it. So listen, if you were hoping to hear something that you didn't hear and you want to connect, please hop on the email, click on my online scheduler, and let's talk. I'll be happy. I'm an open book. I'll share anything. So I want to see you living in your sweet spot. I want to see you grow. You know that you can. I know that if I can do it, that you can do it. And 2016 has been the magic year for me, for everything coming together. I mean, I did work hard the past 2 years, and I'm only in this is year 2.5, exactly 2.5 years for my business. And starting 6 months ago is when I really started to see the repercussions of all the hard work that I did before. So the first 2 years were hard. If you're in your first 2 or 3 years, you know, you just got to keep at it. You got to hammer away. You got to try to bring the money in, because money stress is hard, but you can do it. I know you can do it. So if I can help you, I would love to. Let me know. And thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye.